Hello everyone, it is Joe here from Omnipoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. Today we're going to be looking at Dark Box, or single prize Dark, whatever you want to call it. It's a pretty strong deck in the format, one of the front runner single prizes for certain, and it's trying to use the Inteleon engine to the fullest to have a bit of a thin package of Pokemon that get powerful at various points in the game and have a variety of uses, really, whilst all the while trying to take the most out of shady dealings and Scoop Up Net to basically spam your deal and make sure that the entire game you're cherry picking cards that you want. So in theory, you can create a prize map and the opponent really can't do too much about it outside of like trying to money away your things that you're dealing for proactively, or by simply like targeting down the Inteleon engine. That's really what they're going to try and do against you for the most part. Yeah, it's a fairly successful deck. I think it started the format pretty well. And with the wave of Arceus, I think this deck has had to move away from a Weezing package, which we saw pre-Brilliant Stars certainly, and even early on in the Brilliant Stars meta, and towards a little mini Zapdos V package. Now, obviously, a lot of Arceus players are playing Dunsparce. The good news is, often Arceus is playing multiple one-prize Pokemon, be it the Inteleon line themselves, be it like Dunsparce plus like Barrel, stuff like that. So things like Hoopa boss KOing the Dunsparce sometimes is very helpful for you. So it's something you will do routinely, which then enables the Zapdos like later on in the game. That's kind of the idea here. So that's actually like not a big problem. So Zapdos is still a really strong fighting type answer here. That fighting instinct will be something that you sometimes have to turn on yourself, because even some Arceus players are playing Path now. So trying to use Training Court to turn on the ability, Fighting Instinct, and kick through an Arceus, if there's no Dunsparce around, we'll get an easy 2-for-2 trade. And that's actually a good thing for you, believe it or not, because you're trying to accelerate the game state, usually with this deck, to the point where Galarian Moltres becomes a huge threat. This is your late game sweeper, and it really is a powerful card as you churn your way through the game, try and get as much damage, as many prizes as you can in those openings, to the point where you're just trying to use this card to be your finishing attacker. Obviously, it's a dark type, very good for Mew. As soon as they've gone down to 3 prize cards, you're hitting for weakness 4 KOs. And it's self-accelerating via the ability here. As long as you have 2 Dark Energy in hand, you can pop down the Moltres and 2 Dark at the same time, then manually attach for turn to fulfill the Fiery Wrath, which is doing 50x the number of prize cards your opponent has taken. So you can go all the way up to 270 base damage with this, which is excellent. Obviously a little bit short of dealing with Arceus players, but that's why you're seeing Quick Shooting as a partner. We're trying to get these online quickly to start getting some preliminary damage around the board. We also play Choice Belt, so we can get all the way up to 300 with a very late game Galarian Moltres, and then hopefully alongside Quick Shootings that can get you over the line over any VMAX, be it hitting for weakness or not. So that's brilliant. And also even like Big Charmed Arceus, for example. So yeah, very, very solid card. You try and put this down over like the last 2 turns a lot of the time and try and loop it with the likes of Klara. That's the big sort of combo that we go for here. Early game attackers really come from the form of Hoopa, and 90 damage hit is pretty good pressure, honestly. We have to move into the active position with this card, so something to bear in mind, similar to the old Zapdos, of course. And then we are playing alongside Galarian Zapdos V, we are also playing a second 2-prize Pokemon in Sableye V, which has the Crazy Claws attack. It does 10 base plus 60 more for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. That's a secondary reason why things like Quick Shooting are so vital in the list, as well as early Assault Gate damage. It can look innocuous, but then you can lead into a play alongside Raihan to get a Sableye out of nowhere and finish things off with Crazy Claws. And even if it is taking us like 3 prizes to take another 3-prizer out over like 2 attacks, that trade is useful for us because we become so powerful in that late game. So that's really the idea here, where we transform back into a 1-prize deck later on in the game. Outside of that, we are just playing Manaphy to protect our bench. There is still a little bit of Jolteon here and there, so definitely worth being safe than sorry. And it's actually low-key pretty helpful against Arceus Inteleon as well, because you're scared of Aqua Bullet damage alongside their Quick Shootings, so a decent card to have for certain. And I'm playing Tapu Koko as a higher hit point free retreat Pokemon than Cast Form, which is a card you often see in the deck. There's a debate around these 2 cards. The upside of Cast Form is that you can Level Ball search the free retreater, And the upside of Tapu Koko is it has higher hit points, so it's not an easy Gust target for Mew to jump back into the deck into, because Castforms are having such low hit points compared to the Koko, they would require double tablets to Gust KO Koko. So typically that's pretty good for you. So I'm preferring the Koko. It helps out more against Mew, and it's strange to think that an entirely dark deck still has to worry about Mew, but it actually is the case. So outside of that, yeah, you could think about playing the Castform over the Koko. That's my reasoning for it. It's also just a naturally higher hit point sponge in the opening turns. If you're in like mirror situation or something, you can randomly tank a Hoopa hit, etc. So that's something to bear in mind. And of course, bear in mind that most of the tutoring that we get out of the deck is via shady dealings anyway. So if ever you're like needing to tutor out a free retreater, you can just do it in the form of Balloon, or you can do some Drizzile dancing where you promote a Sobble, evolve into Drizzile, shady deal, scoop up net, and then you like go into that Hoopa. So it works out okay just with the one pivot, I think, throughout the game. Outside of that, some things that you may not always see. Palpad is a card that I really like. It gives you some good redundancy, gives you license to research in the opening turns, which I think is really nice, even though we're playing 2 and 1 counts of very important supporter cards. So it gives us a bit of help against, you know, our own research when we are in a panic, or against prizing. This can be very helpful. It's one of those things where I want the second Raihan, I want the third boss in certain matchups. Like against Mew, boss is actually a super important card. At times, Klara, obviously a super important card in general, just because of your Moltres. So I do like the Palpad. I think it synergizes well with like that point in the game when you're spamming multiple deals. You can pad and then deal straight into the supporter that you put back into the deck more often than not, especially when you're net bouncing like Drizzile and Inteleon. You just get so many deals on certain turns. It's great. The other card that sort of stands out is Rescue Carrier. This isn't played very often, but I do find that we will be going second with this deck very often. We'll try and use that keep calling as often as we can, because we are a setup deck still. You have to play like you are a setup deck, certainly, if you actually want to get into the game without huge elements of randomness like ruining your day. So I really like leaning into keep calling. It means that the early knocked out Sobbles, the early researched away Drizziles, they are recoverable. Obviously we do play Klara, but these are usually more potent in the mid to late game when you're focusing on the Moltres. So I really like the Carrier. Again, similar to the Palpad, it's redundancy. Most people are targeting down the Inteleon engine if they're playing intelligently in this matchup. They shouldn't really care about the free retreat. They shouldn't really care about Hoopa pressure early. It's not something they should concern themselves with. They should be limiting your intel line as much as possible. So if your opponent's playing well into you, a Carrier is a definitely nice include. Outside of that, pretty straightforward things overall. Like I mentioned, Weezing is a card you could definitely consider, and it's been in and out of the list. I think Weezing basically takes up the space of the Zapdos package we're playing right now, and then some. Some of those cards like Palpad and the Carrier, they're almost luxury cards. They're not guaranteed in the list. So having Weezing would actually really improve your Malamar matchup, which I think at the moment is like kind of coin flippy. Based on how strong an early start you both have. If you can do early like Hoopa pressure, especially alongside boss's orders, that could be really good for you. Maintain pressure until the point where Galarian Moltres is spammable, or if you can get some Inteleon pings going. But the Weezing basically shuts down Malamar, and then you like instantly win. It's also really good, this Weezing, against other Inteleon engines. It's actually pretty decent against Arceus as well, especially if Arceus is going towards an Inteleon engine. This can be a helpful card all over again. The only thing that I worry about with the Weezing is it doesn't have like much damage pressure, especially if people are playing like high ropes, high bosses, that sort of thing. They can easily get out of the sort of Weezing soft lock. So yeah, that's why Weezing has made way for more consistency and a couple of nice redundancy cards, but it could certainly go back into the deck. Another one I've thought about is Energy Retrieval. It's like a mini Klara, but you're allowed to use it alongside boss at times, so that's a nice option. Same thing for Escape Rope. These sort of like mid cards are definitely in that sort of 65 best cards possible range. So inserting those in the spaces of the Carrier would definitely be my advice if you have something you want to try out instead. But let's get into some games, and let's choose to go second in all of them. That is certainly the way you want to be playing this list. So yeah, I think keep calling is just so important. We actually start our Koko, which is nice. And yeah, not a bad hand. It's kind of sad to research away double net, but it's one of those things you sort of shrug and have to. Strangely enough, I'm looking at a Snom. You don't often see Snom in current standards, so we've got to keep our wits about us here. They are playing some sort of Inteleon engine themselves. Maybe it's Ice Rider with like a mini Frostmoth package or something like that. Maybe it's a different V or VMAX that they're powering up. Just a pass though. So our hand is actually strong enough that I don't mind going Hoopa here. I still have the option to keep calling, which is nice. We have prized one of our dudes. We have double Inteleon Quick Shooter. We have our pad and our 2-ofs. We have prized our fighting energy, so something to bear in mind there. But otherwise pretty okay. How many nets do we have access to? We still have our other 2 nets and the balloon, so that's okay. Let's grab this, enabling us to get that early game pressure if need be. The belt never really makes sense here, because to move out of your Hoopa, you often need to either balloon or net. So I'll probably put the belt here. Which also isn't great, but it makes a little bit more sense than the Hoopa. And we do hit Dark Energy and another Sobble, so I'm pretty sure it's an Assault Gate play here. We have Level Ball for next turn to start Drizziling. Seems like a good early pressure option here. Typically, like I said, the defensive move is to keep calling, but it's one of those rare instances where we hit one of our researches and actually get multiple Sobble down, so it's always a nice feeling to get it now and then. But here we go, our opponent is in the game. Maybe we can see a little bit more about their deck now with their own Shady Deal coming down. Gonna see a quick ball. And looks like they're an Inteleon VMAX deck, so we certainly will be making the most out of our little Manaphy. What a little treat he's going to be. They have to research away Frostmoth and Big Shady. They're going to bucket now, not too helpful for them. They have already attached. But there's the Snom. They're going to level ball out. Probably more Sobs here. And they're just going to pass over to us. So we're always going to make a Drizzile here. I'm actually not super afraid of the Inteleon this turn, because I'll be knocking out Drizzile, so they won't be able to quick shooting plus 60 damage snipe me, so I don't need Manaphy this turn. Probably need it next turn though. So our priority is probably just going to reload here. We'll just take the net to hand. Do I want to dance my Drizziles is the question. I could easily just rip a Manaphy this turn and keep the space open for next Drizzile. I think that's just stronger, honestly. Yeah. Have to be a little bit careful because the lack of nets. I'm just debating now, actually, if it's better to do anything else. It's kind of close. If I can preserve a net, it's actually super important. So I might do a weird play, which is like, take the balloon, balloon active, Marnie, and give myself the chance to hit next Hoopa. Actually, I should quick ball because I preserve the... I have the Training Court live. So this is a bit of a, like, potentially greedy play, but we have so many outs to get a next Drizzile here on the other side of this Marnie that I think we get away with it. I think I just want to pull this out to the bottom of the deck. Increase our odds. I guess I may as well attach it, right? Hoping to hit any Drizzile out here. We do hit Drizzile. We actually hit the net as well. So now I can Drizzile for... actually, do I want to Drizzile for anything else? Could just go for the... float and still preserve the net. Nets are so valuable with Shady Dealings, honestly. I want to play like this. But I do need to put Manaphy down. No, it's probably too greedy. I think we just take Incense for next turn. Let's net our chap. Let's go active. Let's bench Sobble Manaphy. Let's recover our energy. Going nicely ahead here. The opponent needs a lot to even take a KO next turn. The only discomfort is 3 nets are down out of 4. A net really is part of the lifeblood of this archetype. You want to constantly be dealing stuff. But we are flying ahead right now. We can twiddle our thumbs for like a good few turns and still feel pretty good about ourselves, honestly. We basically just need to get to work on chip damaging the Inteleon VMAX and taking out the Snom or the Sobble that we're looking at right now. We see another quick ball from them. But we shouldn't have too much issue here, I don't think. See the big Nessa coming in. So they can recover that Frostmoth. And a couple energy. And they can get Drizzile back. Yep, that's exactly what they go for. Actually, they can also get the free Training Court value, so they get 3 Pokemon instead. They can, at the very least, Aqua Report KO, but they'll probably Drizzile for something here, right? Do they want to refresh our hand? Or, ooh, that's interesting. Energy here. Certainly something. Something's afoot. Oh, now they have to bucket? Was it just misclick? I was definitely expecting other things to happen here, but here we are. Okay, they are just going to take the report KO. So we know their hand is Drizzile and Energy. And 2 random cards. Honestly, 90 damage smacking active isn't a bad play at all. I can weave in a boss while it's relevant. Just take out the Sobble. Give him the chance to VMAX up to give us an even easier prize route. Don't think I need to start using Ping Inteleon too aggressively. I think I'll just save this for Big Shade for next turn. It's rare that this deck comes up against something that's being so passive into us. Normally we're sort of panicking a bit more and have to proactively Shady deal. But when I only have 1 net left, I really want to make the most out of my big Inteleons. Let's see. more Inteleons coming out. This time it's the Rapid Strike boy. What can this do? Well, I guess doesn't matter too much. There's the Tool Jammer. So I'm glad we didn't prize Koko, I guess. I want to take some cards to hand here. Just get rid of this. We don't have our Raihan, do we? So I can't make a bursty play with Sableye, I should say. Finish my thought. I guess I'll just do a Klara play here. I mean, we're miles ahead, right? You basically always choose to do both. The only like semi reason to not is if you're in a matchup where you think your opponent also plays Training Court and you want to bank some energy against a Mani. That's like the only big advantage of not. But here we're just passively hoopering through the game. We have played our 4th net, which is a minor concern. Not massive, though. Next Inteleon is underway. Do see an Incense here. I'm going to grab VMAX. Love to see him evolve the bench. Yep. That's the wiser play, but they're just going to Aqua Reports. Okay. So we're going to pop these two back into the deck because that's going to be our map here. We're going to grab out Quick Ball for Moltres. We're now hitting 170, which is easy enough to deal with this guy. Yeah, it seems like a good play. Do I want to start pinging, or do I just want to keep this open? Like, this is just boss game, right? Next turn. I guess we just swing. Obviously, we haven't seen Inteleon for a while. But at least we're playing the Manaphy. This is like a good reason to be like, you know those fringe decks? Don't just straight up lose to them by not playing a Manaphy, right? Hello. Mr. Krabs is in here. We will just see the max bullets, so that's going to be shady dealing for game. We had game in a million ways here. Could have made another Moltres and done other things. You could do all sorts. But that was a very, like, we were in the driver's seat that entire game, right? Let's be real. Oops, what is happening? Let's get another game in quickly, but not before we talk about the Potown store, the PTGO sponsor, oh sorry, the PTGO code seller and our sponsor, the Potown store. Lovely people, good prices, lots of variety for bundles, bulk codes, all sorts for PTGO and PTG Live. Make sure that you're ahead of the game as we transfer over. So thanks so much for the sponsor. Let's get into our next game. We are going second, which you'd love to see. We have Keep Calling, Ready to Rumble, which you'd also love to see. So, all things considered, not the worst. The only thing we're lacking is outs to Drizzile for turn 2. And we're up against a Mew. Much more like what we're expecting to face day in, day out. This isn't by any means a free matchup. We do have a lot of answers here, though. Really, the emphasis on the opponent to play well here, I would say. We're going to ask some questions, and you can sometimes have the answers, but won't always. Now, double quick ball is very interesting. I think I'm just going to boot Choice Belt Zapdos here. Sometimes this is an end game play that you do to knock out Genesect. But I want to get Rose Tower value so that I have Drizzile outs next turn. Let's have a look. We have our other Klara in deck. We have both Boss and Pad. You'd love to see that. Raihan is here. Not that you use it too often here. We have all three Sobble boys. We have the Hoops. We have the Moltres. This is looking pretty solid. Let's grab Pivot. Let's grab Hoopa. It's going to be a really nice turn 1 setup here, honestly. Let's get a free card out of it. Huh, Research is very strong. Klara's a really good next turn play, though, because I want the extra Sobble back in hand, and I want to be Assault Gating, probably. Even if it's into a Mew, I think it's solid. I think I'm going to play passively and just keep calling here. The upside of slamming Research is I could hit Drizzile for boss plays on the Meloetta next turn. I guess because I have the Pal Pad, I have free reign to get rid of this. Okay, so we have lots of Drizzile-enabled plays now. Well, we have Nets and 1 Level Ball. So that seems solid. Don't really care about giving them the free cards. Let's hold the court for now. Let's just get the chaps down. Filling our board is good as well, just in case they play random Echoing Horn. I think I basically need to keep my board full the entire game, just because I know some Mews are playing that sneaky tech card. Something to be aware of. But really, as a turn 1 checklist, that's fantastic, and our turn 2 is solid as well. A little bit surprised they're targeting Hoopa, honestly. I would basically always deal with the Sobbles first. They draw more cards. They get me into the game. They help me play the game. But looks like in this instance, they just wanted to play a boss to be able to draw something here. Throwing away tablets is also really bad. You often want to prioritize tablets for Psychic Leap plays. But their hand really hasn't enabled that. They also crammed away an Ultra Ball. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why they don't Ultra Ball safely and get a guaranteed Genesect. I don't know what card would have to be in their hand to make any other decision there, but hey-ho. It's a shame we don't get to showcase a Mew. Maybe we'll queue into another one, but that was a surprising choice, I guess. What's better than Ultra Ball for Genesect for 5 cards there? Hard to tell. So we're wasting our winning coin flips because we'll choose to go second anyway. The hand is slightly better than it looks. I can make a Sobble and keep calling. But again, we're not looking at any Drizzile action next turn. See some Mincinos. Is this going to be... Ooh, okay. Ah, we hit Marnie as well. That's going to make the hand a lot better. So if I want to pressurize, I could net Marnie Assault Gates. And if it's a one-prize matchup, it's actually really good to go ahead. It just means that I need to trust Marnie to hit me multiple Sobbles. My other win con is I just get double quick shooting out, and I think this is like the most winningest play. Knowing that I can net next turn as well. Assault Gate is really good here, I won't argue with it, but it's just then I'm at the mercy of maybe a Marnie crumbing me. They could certainly still have supporters though. Do I want to just do this now? I just have Retreat attached, which is basically always good next turn, unless they retreat into like a Snorlax or something, if they're like Durant. But I think I'll just sort of wait and see on that one, Chief. Let's just see what they're working with. I'm thinking it's basically everything I want all 4 Sobbles out. If I'm thinking it's Durant, maybe you keep 1 Sobble in deck. But I'm not certain. Ah, so it's Malamar. And it's gonna call for some Inkays by the looks of it. They have to get double Inkay down here, right? They can't risk anything else. Oh, they risk me bossing and them having no attack next turn. And we actually hit that off the top. So they're getting massively punished for a very greedy play. I might actually bounce some Drizziles here. Let's get multiple out, because quick shooting is still very strong here. I still want a good amount of outs off the Marnie, so I'll just do the double Drizz dance, I think. And then we'll just boss KO. Means I'm holding net for next turn as well, so I can net the Hoopa if need be. Yeah, they played so greedy there. I don't know what they're doing. They have to go double Inkay there. They just have to. There's no other choice. It's so much. Either way, we were taking the first prize in that instance, and we were starting to build towards Inteleon, so I feel like we were probably going to be ahead anyway. One prize matchups are still kind of that situation where you go first, you crack on with your day. Man, we are doing well, starting with Sob. You'll love to see it. We're in a mirror match of sorts. Let's just fire off the Marnie. Look for our energy card. Try and get the squad going. Missed the energy card, but we get the squad going the hard way, by the looks of things. And we have Drizzile for next turn. I see Inteleon. I think the first deck I would consider would be an Arceus matchup. Then Mirror, probably. Lightning Energy. Ah, Jolteon. Okay. Well, we're once again proving why we should be safe and play Manaphy, I guess. The opponent can begin to deal here. So the Zapdos isn't great in this matchup, but it's reasonable. So we'll definitely check our prizes for those. I'm probably just dealing for research, honestly, next turn. They're going to get a quick hit in with the Jolteon by the looks of things. A little poke with Thunder Spear. Little sneaky poke. Okay. The Moltres is actually kind of interesting to put down with a choice belts, honestly. Because researching all this away means I never get that choice belt 300 option. So I guess I do it. It's a little bit kooky. But hey, so we do have Fighting Energy. We don't have Zapdos, which is a bit of a shame. Do we have both of our quick shooters? We do. Okay. We have Raihan for this. We prized our Manaphy as well, which is very sad. They're going to think we're being greedy by not playing Manaphy. We'll know the truth. I will deal here for net, I guess. And force them to find a Zig. I guess it's the responsible thing to do. It makes our research worse. But it makes their turn worse as well. Or it forces them to have more next turn. I guess it's the more accurate thing to say. Real shame I couldn't do what I wanted to this turn. I'm guessing he always deals with double Drizzly kids, so let's just make another Sobble here. The rescue carrier is going to put in work at least. That's the good news. And our opponent will have already taken 2 prizes, so Moltres is already swinging, I guess. Very sad that we come against this matchup and prize the Manaphy, but it'd be like that sometimes. And the Zapdos, actually. Not that Zapdos is good in this spot. There's the Elemental Sage, and there's the Marnie. Marnie in good hand. The Carrier was definitely a good card for next turn. They can Quick Ball for Zig here. Oh. Are they only taking 1 prize this turn? Surely not. Yeah, too good to be true. Oh, prize Zig? Saved? His prize is worse than ours? No. Not possible. I guess I'll actually Sobble first and just research the lot. Sure. What can I piece together with deal? I could go like boss KO with Hoopa. Taking prizes does sound good because getting prizes is part of our win con. As in, like, it enables us to get the bench protection and the Zapdos. So maybe we do just make the boss play this turn. We go dealing for quick, and we go dealing for whatchamacallit, E-Search, and just Hoopa KO. We can't give away too much tempo, especially against a deck that's probably taking a multiple prize turn at some point. Well, next turn, right? We know they're holding Incense, at least. And I only vaguely feel decent about this because we also get to hold Research, so even if he goes like Gust, Drizzile, double KO, we still have plays. You definitely want to take out one of these, right? Before it can grow out of reach. Manaphy. Second place prize. There's the Intel. Okay. Ooh, they're going this way about it. Interesting. I would definitely try and target the Inteleon engine. But, sure. Sure. We have ways to get back the Zap. Don't worry about it. We don't need to put him down proactively. Let's get back our little sad boys. We really are just hoping that we can take this off prizes sooner rather than later, otherwise we are just a sitting duck. Feel like I need to take... I actually have a lot of good stuff already for next turn. The Incense isn't even that strong because we don't have big Shadems. We have... I guess I still take this. Because I do want to start growing my Intels next turn. So let's just do a Fiery Wrath. Hoping that they, like, if they're making a Cheryl play, maybe they're not doing much else. Like, maybe their ping has to go active here. Yep, there's the Cheryl. Rope would be pretty devastating, but it would mean that gets hit 300. They finally making another Jolt. Yes. Path to the Squeak. Nope, they're going to leave the Moltres alive. I just don't think it's happening without a without a big boy. A big boy Manaphy. Don't know why I'm calling it a big boy. It's small, but like I can net some stuff. I guess I'm just going net Klara. Net active. Make some intels. Net. Oh, I need to net this as well, though, right? I need these to be big. And then I need the Hoopa to come in and swing. How do I do that? How do I piece this all together? I need to pay retreat. Oh, I need the big intels as well, though, right? I need, like, all of this. We're doing so much just to do, like, nothing. We're working so hard just to still do basically nothing. Right, so we have to net here. We have to net here. And I guess there's no reason to... I guess there is a reason to not because of that. Okay, so I'm losing to boss here. What else do I lose to? Second ping beats me as well. Honestly, we lose to so much, but I mean, prize your 2 win cons in the matchup, right? It's just is what it is. We've had some really poor games, honestly. Like, faced Intel VMAX, had a scoop to Mew, had a scoop to Mali, and now prized both of our most important cards. Yes, yes. Don't tell me it's well played. Pretty sure you win a best of 3 into Jolteon. I know they play Cheryl, but like they play 1, right? You can usually overcome 1 heal card, especially when their hit points is 300. Because we play the belt, that breakpoint is so nice for the late game chap. So even though the video is going to go on long, let's have one more game and hope to find a good one. Because we're yet to find a good one so far. One thing we've done very well is manage to keep calling early, which you love to see. Not prized now, are you? Starting you now. Another Mew. Okay, let's try and have an extended game against Mew. Well, I don't think they'll be conceding because they have VIPs. So Oricorio, an obvious tech for this matchup. Our opponent may not know what we are just because we show off Manaphy. The usual board state looks to get second Genesect Mellow in this spot. But they're just going to hold for now, which makes a lot of sense. We have a free discard of Dark Energy here with the Court in play. We certainly will be doing this. We have double Hoops, we have double Moltres, we have Big Deal, we have the Pad double Boss, we prized a Klara, we have the Fighting Energy, we don't have the Belt. Oh, Belt's in hand. Okay, looking good. Training Court before attaching. Don't want him to have the free information. That's my info, not yours. The only scary thing, again, our hand is not ready to deal. It is deal or no deal based on our top deck. So it is usually a Mew player's incentive to attack with the VMAX for the first couple prizes, and either leap into one of your single prizes or attack with your single prizer as you take the third prize, as well as the fourth prize, if possible. Basically never leave a VMAX in the active in the later stages of the game in this matchup, is more or less the shorthand goal. I'm going to see attach, VMAX, one Genesect draw, and just a miracle. Okay. So pretty low key for the Mew players so far, but actually serves every purpose that they need to early on. So it looks like it's a no deal, which is very sad. There's literally nothing we can do. So I think I feed Sobble knowing I'm holding Rescue Carrier rights. Preserve the balloon, I guess. We're having yet another bad hand. Although early on, this doesn't matter too much, right? This doesn't... We're normally a chilling, like, let's just chill out kind of deck anyway. He's now offered a Meloetta option for us to Gust KO with Boss Hoopa. We just need to be allowed to play the game. That's all we need. We need Drizzile. And then we'll be vibing. Okay, we'll take that. Still no Drizzile. Oh no. This has been a video, hasn't it? Yes, yes, very good, yes. This sure has been a video. Okay, so they play no Oricorio, probably. I think if it was me in this matchup, I would put Oricorio in that last bench space at this point in the game, knowing that it's a really good turn to Psychic Leap. Sparkling preemptively is also very good for a Psychic Leap play. Or he can just attack with Mellow this turn. Bouncing Training Court, obviously very good for him, because it's probably a card that does more for me than for him. There is the easy Hoopa KO option, if we could at least draw a card. Let's go. Well, as they say, not done yet. This is the breakpoint turn where we must take a prize. We can do it. It just leaves us in top deck mode next turn. But you have to do this. It is too late for us to win the game if we don't take a prize this turn. Oh, we're not in top deck mode because I have more deals. What am I talking about? We're fine. We're fine, guys. This is definitely a this is fine. So I will definitely juggle some Drizz. You definitely want 2 Shady Dealings out, right? Because next turn I want the option to double deal. So now we just grab the E-Search, hold Evo Incense for next turn. Actually, I will triple Drizzile, because then I can do more net plays and, like, quad deal. So let's go all the way with our Drizziles, because I'm going to need a lot of deals next turn, I'm pretty sure. And then we just grab this at the end. Taking the damage is better than failing to like keep a Training Court around. This makes a Psychic Leap play better for them, or easier for them, but what can you do? Discarding Power Tablet is surprising to me, seeing as though they probably want to leap into a 1-prizer this turn to make it as difficult as for us as possible. But maybe their hand went nowhere without it. There is the 1-prizer. They got rid of a Sparkle. Maybe they have 4th Sparkle attach here. Maybe they have Gust. Gust Sobble. And Leap. They gave us Training Court. That moment when they fail to boss you? That doesn't sound like Mew to me. Really doesn't sound like Mew to me. Wow. That is probably the best outcome possible. Energy in the discard pile for us. So, we can grab... we need to do some really interesting shenanigans here, right? We need to get so many more energy into this hand. Man, I actually think I'm meant to research dig. That can't be right. How do I do this? I have 1 E-Search, which only gives me access to 2 energy. But I guess I go Shady Deal for E-Search Quick Ball, and then I just rip the Research, right? And then I have all these net outs, but nets are my only friend. I need to do this. We go E-Search plus Quick Ball. No, I need to do some more bouncing first. Let's... First of all, go E-Search Net. Then we go Quick Ball Net. This is going to be long-winded, but we have so many deals, it's got to be done. We do not need this incense. We need this. We need this. Oh, I can actually Raihan, right? I can Raihan for the energy. I can go here, Raihan energy, turn attach, net. Then I'm holding research and Drizzums. Okay, so we only need to charge one. Yes. Deal for Raihan. Energy. Net again. So that's our KO, and we're holding lots of deals for next turn with one net remaining in deck. I'm pretty sure. What did I do all my net plays? Do I need to play this proactively? I'm going to play like they don't play hand disruption, right? Oh, but it's so risky. If I'd only tracked my nets, we'll just take it. Okay, so they are out of fusion energy. I need to check. There's Klara to hand. They have potentially one fusion taken off prize. So maybe they can do some like tablet KOs with Mellow, or they have to attack with the Mew here. And they didn't put another Mew down, so they're just going to swing with the VMAX here. Which should be easy win. So we had a really dud start, but our opponent probably could have made this more difficult for us, to be honest with you. But you saw how we did the Shady plan, right? Shady is just crazy. I really hope our last net is in deck. Because otherwise, I'm very sad here. Oh, clutch. Okay, that should definitely be game. You can see just how strong the Molt is in the Mew matchup, right? It just says points and detonates, right? So we finally got a reasonable game in. Thanks to some big deals at the end. Really made up for the poor couple of whiffs on our own Marnies there, but we did get there in the end. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. That's the deck. I do think we didn't really play many Arceus variants, right? And Arceus is still the worry. We didn't really get to do the Zap stuff too often. Obviously prized against the Jolteon, right? But it certainly is an option. I've been as high as 2 Zapdos 2 fighting to really try and give myself better gust plays. Because, like, you want to be gusting the the Dunsparce, and then oftentimes you need to be like gusting with Zapdos as well. Like even Echoing Horn's an option to lean into that Zapdos even more. We did see some value with the Rescue Carrier, but that's definitely my floating space right now. Let me know what you guys think about the list and the deck in general. How well placed do you think it's going to be? And how good do you think its Mew matchup is right now? I'll hear it all down below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in another video tomorrow. Cheers.